Hi guys, so we're gonna do Alfred now. So the things that I'm leaving out for you are her turkey baster, the aquarium bucket, and this styrofoam cup for thawing worms in. So I already thawed the worms, and there's 5 blocks in there, and I just used water from here and not the sink. Because I'm skeptical of Philly water. The worms are in the freezer. So they're in this and this, bloodworms. And here's one that's out. So they look like this, and usually I do 5. And so it's just like a row of them, and you put them into this little cup of water. Leave them for like 5 minutes and they should thaw. Frederick, or I called you Frederick. Patrick already showed you our pile of water. So here it is, and more on that later. So we'll get Alfred out. She's in the fridge. So I taped down the light thing so it stays dark in here, otherwise she freaks out. So the first thing you want to do when you open the fridge is just make sure that this is, that the temperature of her water is over 40 and preferably about 45 or more, and under 50. Sometimes it switches to Celsius because it has a mind of its own, but you can just press that button. So it's at 45 exactly right now, which is awesome. And then you can take that out. And she is in this. I have this little like fork tray on top of her, just because sometimes she does spaz out if there's suddenly light or something, and I don't want her to accidentally flip out. So that's just on top of her. And here she is. She's in this Tupperware. So I'm going to take her out. Okay, Alfred. It's kind of heavy, just so you know. Alright, and we're just going to put her right here. Yep. Okay, so when you first take her out, the first thing you want to do is take out her stuff. I only put this in here to get the cycle going, but and then you can take her hide out. She might be in it, but that's alright. We'll just disturb her. Put those wherever, and the first thing you want to do is check for poop. She hasn't pooped because I just put her in here, but check for poop or like worms that you missed from last time, and you just want to squeeze the turkey baster and suck them up if you see anything. They usually get stuck in the corners and stuff. So suck them up and then put them in the aquarium bucket. I don't have a garbage disposal, which is why we need the bucket, and then that will go in the toilet. So yeah, put anything in the aquarium bucket, and then what you'll do is you'll take the turkey baster and the worms, suck up as many worms as you can get, and then I like to just transfer into here and, oops, oh, okay, now there's worms everywhere, and then just let it settle on the bottom, so I just have it resting on the bottom. I'm going to let the worm settle for a second. So Alfred won't just like eat off the ground. She kind of needs you to show her that there are worms. So what I'm going to do is come to the front of her and just kind of squeeze very gently with my thumb, so that some worms like peep out of the bottom. And you just saw her take a bite, and as soon as she feels the worms on her nose, she'll usually take some bites. And then you just give her a minute to chew. She might like go somewhere else because she's a little grump. That's fine. Just give her a second. So Alfred's gonna take the longest when you're here. So what I would do is maybe come in, start thawing the worms, and then maybe deal with the ferrets' wee-wee pads, and just make sure everyone has water, and then come back to Alfred once the worms are thawed. One thing to mention while we're waiting for her to chew is that the ferrets also have this treat called ferritone, which if you need them to be somewhere or bribe them to do anything, they will both take Ferritone. It's like this like oily liquid, and you can just like put it anywhere on the floor and they'll love you and it. And we ran out, so I ordered it. I ordered a 4-pack, and unfortunately it gets here on Saturday, so I will already be gone. But you can just like go up to the lobby, the person at the lobby, and be like, is there mail for 7/23, and they'll hand it to you, and then you'll have Ferritone. Also, here's Vera, who we didn't get to meet last time.
Hi.
Whoa. Okay. Alright, back to Alfred. Who's like, anyway, this story is about me. Delicious. So as you can see, this is like a super messy process, and Alfred likes to eat worms and squirt them out her gills, so they are gonna get all over. And unfortunately, you do have to get them out. That will be at the end, and yeah. Sometimes she won't be as hungry, and you can usually just tell she'll like walk away from you instead of taking bites of worms. And that's alright. You don't have to get all 5 blocks into her because she squirts them out her ears anyway. Hi, I know. Is that delicious? Oh yeah. That's the stuff. Okay, chew on that. You can also like pick up worms and refeed them to her. They're not soiled once they've come out her ears. That's fine. So with Alfred, she can go pretty much like 4 to 5 days without food. She might be like super hungry when you get back, but you know, worst case scenario, she will live in case you need like a long weekend or something. But yeah, she would probably prefer every other day if you can manage. Okay, so we're kind of running low on worms here. She's kind of walking away from me. Okay. Alright, so we're going to start cleaning up. So just put any worms she didn't eat into the aquarium bucket. If you think she's still hungry, you can pick up worms and feed them back to her. For the sake of the length of this video, I'm not going to do that. So just pick them up off the ground. This might take a long time until you get used to it, but basically I just squeeze this all the way down and try and suck up as many as I can. It would be best if you can get every single one, just because we don't want to start some crazy nitrogen cycle or anything, but they do get stuck in her gills, and so you will probably miss 1 or 2, and that's fine. But yeah, the other thing is that if you need to get around and she's in your way, you can scoot her, and she'll just kind of let you, as long as you don't touch her tail, which she hates. And so yeah, don't touch her tail. Other than that, she's a chill little dude. Right, Alfred? Yeah. Okay. Vera. Hi, Comfy. The other thing is that I would definitely keep the aquarium bucket in the sink, partially because it's easy to reach and partially because Vera is forever curious about what exactly the aquarium bucket is, and will try to get in it, which I'm sure you can imagine would be a disaster, so don't put it on the floor or anything. And it can live in the sink when you're done. What's going on, kid? Alright, so there's just a couple left, but the next thing that you're going to do once all the worms are picked up is, so you've already removed a lot of water, and that might be enough for water change. Basically, I have this mark here, and that's the water mark where I want to keep it at about that level. So I've removed this much. I'm just going to grab a little bit more. And then, so for a water change on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I would do this and then just grab one of these waters. I actually already have one open. And just refill. Gently. She's not super into it, but and get it back up to the mark. And she yeah, but also if you on after the weekend, so I guess actually on Monday, if you could actually dump some out just to get an extra water change. Since she's been sitting it for a couple extra days, you can just do this and just like make sure you don't dump her out into the sink, and then refill from there. And yeah, just make sure she's not, you know, uncovered because she can't breathe in air, and then you can just fill it back up. And then once she's done, I'm actually going to feed her some more, so I'm not going to put her away yet, but once you're done with her, put her hide back in. I'm probably going to leave the rock out, so just put her hide back in, and you want to keep the pointier part out because she walks in through this big opening, and just put it here, and she will probably get under that. Put her back into here on this bottom shelf, and stick the thermometer back in this part, and then cover her with the tray again. It's only going to cover like half of her Tupperware, but it's enough to keep her from jumping out. Okay, and don't let Alfred or Vera get in the fridge.
And where do they dispose of the water?
Oh yeah, okay, and then this poop / worm water is going to go in the toilet. So here, you can just dump it in the toilet, and it takes a couple flushes because my building is ancient, and the other thing is just to keep the toilet lid closed, because I am forever worried about the ferrets getting in there, but yep, that's all.